you don't feel comfortable and you're out there by yourself with a wind blowing in your face, sleet, or whatever the elements may be, you know, it can definitely be very challenging.
They say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. For Heidi Greenwood, it's safe to say those 1,000 miles were eclipsed a long time ago.
Typically, it's from 85 to 95 miles a week. That seems to be a good spot for me. Again, this is very individualized, but that's what I have been doing, and I've been pretty consistent at that through the last 3 years about doing that volume of work.
The quick math on that, just under 4,600 miles per year. Not bad for a former collegiate volleyball player.
My main love was always volleyball, and that's always something that I was always like the forefront of my passion with relation to sports.
While volleyball was the focus, her college years at UND weren't without success on the track. Heidi piled up All-American honors and even won an NCAA championship in her senior year. Around that time, her passion for running took root.
I really fell in love with running, I think, maybe my junior year of college. Just this simple act of running, like not saying like, I just like going out there and like seeing who I can beat or run faster than people. It's really just a self thing that I find very rewarding.
That mental reward would become ever important when Heidi made the transition from middle distance track runner to competitive marathoner. 26.2 miles with nothing but your own thoughts, that's enough to drive some people mad.
So it's a lot of you time, what's going on inside your head. All those thoughts, you can either like use them to help you or they can be paralyzing, you know? So I think that's definitely what makes the marathon very unique.
After a few positive marathon experiences, Heidi laid down a speedy personal best in 2012. That time allowed a new goal to form. One only about 250 American women achieve every few years.
After I ran that 2:47 at the time, I knew it was possible to qualify for the trials if I really like dedicated myself towards it. Obviously, I thought that goal was scary because running 6:10 pace for 26.2 miles, you know, it's pretty intense.
Even with the goal being scary, she chose to ramp up her training. So when that same Columbus, Ohio marathon came around the following year, her body and mind were ready. In the 2013 race, Heidi would shave 5 minutes off her previous time, not only setting a new personal best, but achieving her goal of qualifying for the 2016 Summer Olympic Trials.
My goal has always been to qualify for the trials. I'm realistic. I know going into the trials, like, realistically, I'm not going to be qualifying for the Olympics. I'm totally at peace with that, and so this is just kind of really cool just to celebrate the journey of the last 3 years and kind of seeing, like, how fast can you run?
And one thing the runners will have to contend with today, the weather. We're on pace to have the hottest marathon Olympic trial ever. The high today before the day is over is going to be in the mid-80s.
It's definitely not what I had envisioned, you know, if we would have reversed it 3 years ago, where I would have thought I would have been or wanted to be, and we evolve as people, and like what we want changes, and if you don't want something, it's really hard to fake that.
Can a single race define you? After 3 years of training, Heidi would see her dream end before crossing the finish line. In fact, she would only complete 9 miles that day in Los Angeles.
I did think too, you know, after it was over, and I was like, Heidi, why did you do that? Like, why don't you could have just took a break for a couple minutes and then just like kept on going. But like, I'd never been in a race where you actually stopped and like that just seemed like appalling. But like, women did that, like people did that, like the conditions were so tough. It was like running like survival, like people weren't racing the race. They were just literally trying to keep going. And so, I mean, maybe I should have done that. But I just, at that time, my frame of mind was, no thanks.
Even though her race ended early, her journey has not. She now has time to focus on her career sharing her experiences with other athletes, and starting a family. So does one race define you? No.
I mean, I don't regret anything. Like, I feel like if I wouldn't have tried to pursue these things or put myself out there like that, I feel like I would have always wondered, what if? Oh, I should have done that. I should have gone to altitude and tried that. Well, guess what? I did try that. Maybe I should have quit my job and focused on this. Well, guess what? I did that. Like, so I'm not gonna have reservations about like fully pursuing something. I think you can't be scared to put yourself out there and put yourself in position to chase down something you've always wanted to do, whether it, be start your own business or whatever it is. Like, to not fear failure and just to go for it, set goals and go for it.